Again. Um, it's been just a couple of days, probably. I don't know, since I last talked. Since then I've had about I have a lot of panic attacks every day, but there's been about two really bad ones. Um, a couple of days ago I had a really bad one where I had a memory lapse and I didn't know where I was and I didn't know what I was doing. And thankfully, my friend was there and I was doing a lot of twitching too. I do a lot of weird twitching and I was like hitting my leg like repetitively and hitting other things. And I was trying to, because I was nonverbal, I was trying to write something down to him. And it's so hard to explain it to people, but it's like my brain was telling my hand to write something out, but my hand wouldn't do it. My hand would just like start flicking and moving around, and I couldn't write down what I wanted to write down. And it was really frustrating, as you can imagine, because I just wanted to, communicate what I needed, but I couldn't because my body wouldn't do what I was telling my body to do. Um, that one was pretty bad. He said it lasted like half an hour, which is not too bad, honestly, because normally they last like a couple of hours. Half an hour is actually really good. He gave me little pieces of paper with like lines on it and circles and stuff and told me to make a picture out of it. So that like kept me focused, and sometimes even that is too much for me and I won't have the the mental capability to actually understand what he's saying. Like sometimes, yeah, like I don't understand people talking to me. So just that was kind of above level. That's probably why it dissipated so quickly, was because I was at an okay level. So I just drew a whole bunch and I like came out of it. Normally as soon as I come out of it I ask what happened. My friend gave me a recap, and that was that. Normally after I have a really bad panic attack like that, well, I mean, like even a moderate one, I am really tired. Sometimes I'm in a lot of pain because my muscles contract so much that it makes it like they contract and they don't uncontract. So it's like somebody just sitting there like tensed for like a solid 30 minutes, and it hurts really bad. It's a lot of pressure to put on your muscles. And so once you untense, your body aches really bad, and it's you just it feels like shit. Also I'll be really tired because it was like, I don't know, it's taxing, physically taxing on you to, I guess, be that anxious. I can tell that no matter what kind of panic attack I've had, because they kind of have weird, different, um, I don't want to say stages, but like, I categorize them differently. Like, sometimes I lose my memory, sometimes I revert back to trauma and start, like, trying to kill people, and other times I just feel really anxious, like a normal, anxiety attack. And no matter which one I have, I'm always exhausted after it happens, because it's like I put so much energy into being upset and when I come out of it I'm just like, "Oh god, I'm exhausted." And so sometimes the other panic attack that I had was just like a regular anxiety attack. I just felt really anxious. And it was right after I woke up. I just woke up and I was like shaking and I was sweating really bad, and like normally you can't form like cohesive thoughts. I was just like ugh, and really out of it, and I was in a lot of pain. And came out of that, that wasn't very long, but it was way worse on my body, and it hurt for days after days. My whole body was just aching and sore, And so when it happens really early in the morning like that, when I start my day with a panic attack, it makes the whole day much harder because my body already released so much energy and it's already so physically taxed that it's hard just to do anything else. You literally just want to go back to sleep because everything hurts. Um I'm going to say this because it sounds weird when I say like a regular anxiety attack and you feel like you can like attribute that to a normal person's attack, but I feel like even somebody with anxiety, it still differs for me because I guess mine is much more physical, and I even my normal anxiety attack is still geared towards my PTSD, and it's still a lot more severe than a regular person's anxiety attack. Everything that I basically do is really severe. So, like, I can have fainting spells or seizures or be throwing up like crazy from just regular anxiety. So, and a lot of regular anxiety medication doesn't work for me because it's not strong enough. Um Speaking of medication, I don't know if I mentioned in the last one, but I was going to start a new medication and it was making me really sick. So I dropped that medication and we did an increase of my fluvoxamine to 100 milligrams, and it's helping. I'm gonna say that this probably, even though I've had like 2 panic attacks, um, it's still okay for me. Even though I've been feeling anxious and my energy's been low, um, I still feel better than I did before, which is good because I don't think I'm gonna have to go to the hospital now. So that's a plus for me. um, for regular people, they kind of just think that when I take medication, it's just gonna make me better, you know? Like, I'm just gonna take a pill and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna feel like a regular person. But kind of what my care team does and what I guess I'm gonna be focused on for the rest of my life is not curing my PTSD because PTSD doesn't have a cure. I'm trying to diminish the symptoms as much as I can. So just make it less awful. And to this day, I've never had a medication that took it all away. It's never been like I never had any symptoms anymore, or I never had a panic attack, or, I'm always gonna have panic attacks, and I'm always gonna, have bad days, and I'm gonna not be able to get out of bed, and I'm gonna be in a lot of pain. But not having seizures I think that's like the worst I was at, and my goal with medication is just not to be that bad anymore. I just don't want to have seizures and I don't want to be throwing up. Those are my like 2 things that I don't want to do. I'm okay with having a panic attack that's like lapsing memory and all that and being in pain sometimes, even though it makes work hard, but as long as I'm not having a seizure, I'm fine. um so that's mostly what's been happening. I know the eclipse is today, but I went to work and I slept through most of it because I was exhausted after work. But everything's been going pretty okay, and I'll probably check in again soon just to check back in with the medication because sometimes it can give you like a false front. And I'll be like, oh, I'm doing really okay on this medication. I'm doing so good. And then it'll just drop off really suddenly and I'll feel really awful. So, hopefully this med increase was a good idea and I won't have to switch to a totally different medication. So, I think that's it. See you guys later. Bye.